Also, speaking of Ross Douthat's show, that was a clip from New York Times columnist Ross Douthat's show. And there's another clip going viral. Got to tell you, Ross Douthat's great. He's one of my favorite commentators, pundits. But he works for the New York Times, which is awful. New York Times, you got to give the devils their due. They did one smart thing, which is let this guy have a show. And they actually have adapted to the new media space pretty well. He's getting the clicks because he's bringing on voices from the left who are articulate and representative of broader left-wing thinking and extremely radical. He's showing them for what they are in their own words. And nowhere is this clearer than on designer babies. I've been hearing about someday we're going to have designer babies. You're going to be able to order your baby and pick all of the attributes. So he's going to be tall and good looking and really smart, really athletic and really this and really that. And you're going to be, but then what happens when you can't afford that? To have the designer baby through this woman's company, Orchid, costs $2,500 per embryo, not per baby that is born, but per embryo. And that's a big part of this too. What about the people who can't afford that? Now you're going to have the lower classes are going to have their like ugly, stupid babies. And the elite classes are going to have their beautiful, genius, chemically enhanced babies. And you're going to have a horrifying caste system based on money. I would talk about subverting democracy and human solidarity. Go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. You ever hear the phrase, "That's unconstitutional"? People toss that phrase around like confetti at a political rally. You hear it pretty much anywhere people gather to debate the issues of the day. But here's the thing. When someone drops that phrase, do you just nod along and take their word for it? Or have you ever actually cracked open the Constitution yourself to see what all the fuss is about? I think you should, and that is one of the many reasons that I'm thrilled about Hillsdale College's brand new free online course called The Federalist. You know those Federalist papers everyone references but few have actually read? They were penned by Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, and don't forget John Jay, to explain how our Constitution creates a government strong enough to protect our rights, yet safe enough to trust with power. Brilliant stuff, more relevant today than ever. Hillsdale breaks it down into 10 digestible 30-minute lectures that you can tackle whenever you want. No deadlines, no cost, no catch. Here's the bonus. They got over 40 other free courses waiting for you, from C.S. Lewis to ancient Rome to early church history. It's like having a world-class education at your fingertips. It is having a world-class education at your fingertips, completely free. I love it. Hillsdale is one of the absolute top learning institutions in the entire country, and their courses are just magnificent. The Federalist, I highly recommend. Course on C.S. Lewis, I highly recommend. Right now, go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles to enroll. No cost, easy to get started. Go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. So, Douthat has the founder of this company, Orchid, Noor Siddiqui, on the show. And here's her pitch.
What Orchid can do is it gives parents the power to protect their children before pregnancy begins. So what happens today in IVF centers is that, they're operating essentially almost blind, right? So this really, really critical decision about which embryo to transfer happens with extremely limited information. So what happens is that the embryo that looks best under the microscope, kind of wins this morphology beauty contest, is often the one that's selected. Other times, there's a very limited genetic test that's offered that looks at a tiny fraction of genetic diseases that could affect a future baby. So Orchid completely changes that. We're the first company in the world that allows parents to actually sequence the entire genome of an embryo, so sequence 99% of the bases in an embryo's genome, which allows parents to detect risks for some of the most serious conditions. So heart defects, birth defects, pediatric cancers, developmental disorders, things that are, massively change the trajectory of a child's life. The vast majority of these diseases don't have cures. So what's really exciting about this possibility is that now parents have this ability to protect their children from an entire category of disease that previously we had to just hope for the best and wish that our children wouldn't be affected by them.
Sounds great, right? You see that phrase, she keeps coming back to protect our children. It allows parents to protect their children before they're born. We're offering protection for children. How? By creating a bunch of people, creating a bunch of embryos in a laboratory, and then slicing off little parts of them and checking their genome. And then if there's any imperfection, Orchid doesn't actually do this directly, but Orchid makes the recommendation that is then carried out by other companies. They'll kill them. If there's any imperfection, he's going to have a limp. His IQ is only going to be 97. He's going to be a little short. He's going to be a little fat. There's something that's a little wrong with him. Kill him. You're going to go kill him. We're just giving you the information, and you're going to decide to go kill those children so that you can have the perfect baby who doesn't have any problems. And who knows? What if the baby accidentally comes out and, his hair's brown instead of blonde? Do they get a refund? Do they get a partial refund? Because what does this cost? This costs $2,500 per embryo to then decide, like your Caesar in the Colosseum, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do we kill the baby? Do we let the baby live? It costs $2,500 and your kids and maybe your soul. What is this? I'll tell you exactly what this is. And it's really ironic. This is the thing that the libs were just criticizing 8 days ago. This is eugenics. This is one of the most horrifying forms of eugenics I've ever heard. That was a great clip. Now, if you want more of those clips, you have to subscribe, ring the bell. See you next time.